Well, it's been a busy week for National FFA state officers, sharing their story and also fighting for the future of agriculture in our nation's capital city. RFD-TV's D.C. Bureau Chief Sarah Mock joins us in Washington.
Well, thanks, Janet. It was a big week for the National FFA here in Washington as ag politicians turned out in droves to, as you said, encourage the future farm leaders of America. Part of those festivities involved the Secretary of Agriculture signing a memorandum of understanding with the National FFA organization. And we got to talk to him right after as he summed up what that new agreement will mean.
Formalizes an informal relationship we've had with FFA for a while over working together to promote agriculture, particularly promote youth in agriculture. Young farmers starting, we know that the farm age of farmers is getting older, and we need the vitality of these youth to come in to make sure that we can be as productive in the next 50 years as we've been in the last 50 years. These are very sharp young people and very well trained. It's a good leadership organization. Whether it's agriculture or civic responsibility, these kids have it going on.
The FFA is focused on getting more young people into agriculture, and signing this agreement brings students and the USDA closer, hopefully creating more opportunities.
I think tangibly it means that students will have opportunities to understand more about the 250 plus careers that are unique to agriculture and how it impacts the future. It also means that we have an opportunity to work with the Secretary and his staff as he interacts with our members, and as we have an opportunity to have members intern here at USDA in future years. So ultimately it's about the future of agriculture and creating that awareness of careers and career opportunities in the industry.
The chairman of the Senate Ag Committee also came out to greet those students and took a few moments to talk with us. He was excited to see all the kids, including one from his very own high school. He is anxious to get those young folks into any of the 58,000 available jobs in ag right now that are currently unfilled.
You know, we have surplus jobs in agriculture, and I look at all these bright and talented young people. It gives you some confidence, I can tell you that.
He also called on FFA members to be advocates for the Farm Bill, both to their elected officials as well as in their communities back home. We asked him about his major Farm Bill priorities right now.
Things come up over and over again. One is crop insurance, the other is trade. We have to sell our products. So I think we're going to do a little better job on that. I think we have saved crop insurance, at least from some budget cuts from the president's side and also from the House. We'll get our budget fairly quickly, and we don't need to be messing around with crop insurance. We sure need a very aggressive trade policy. I'm very hopeful that that'll take place as well.
We also asked Senator Roberts about some controversial statements that were made by Senator Grassley at a hearing earlier this week about non-farmers receiving subsidy payments through the Farm Bill. He didn't have a comment on that statement at this time, but he reiterated that he's focused on crop insurance and that he's even more focused on getting a Farm Bill signed on time, maybe even early, so that farmers in this tough economy can start planning for a brighter future. Janet?
Well, Sarah, now I also understand that you had the chance to talk to the Secretary this morning. He was in the Yucatan Peninsula in Mexico where he's been meeting with trade officials. Did you maybe get any updates on the upcoming NAFTA renegotiations?
Yeah, it's been a busy morning already, but we did get to talk to Secretary Perdue. We had questions on, fruit and vegetable dumping in the United States by Mexican farmers has been a big issue. It's really devastated industries like tomatoes and citrus here in the U.S. Secretary Perdue didn't have much of a comment about that other than that he was hoping to kind of even out the wins in NAFTA in the upcoming negotiations. Of course, there were also questions about whether Mexico is looking to other markets for things like corn and soybeans. The Secretary wasn't actually very concerned about that. He thinks that in the meetings he's had, in the relationships he's worked on, that the U.S. just has such an advantage in terms of infrastructure and those relationships that however much Mexican buyers might be talking about looking elsewhere, they're really just definitely going to look to the U.S. first to kind of fill those needs as far as corn and soybean goes. So Secretary Perdue is very hopeful coming back from Mexico today, and I guess we'll see how those negotiations play out.
Absolutely. Well, Sarah, thank you very much for covering such important issues. We appreciate it. Again, D.C. Bureau Chief Sarah Mock from our Washington News Bureau.